Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and yeah, another what's in my garage. I've been asked a few times recently in the comments about which tanks I'm grinding through and what have you, so I thought I'd do another quick sort of garage update. And also because I didn't manage to get a video up last night, it was going to be the Crafts Panther revisit, but I had such an awful day on World of Tanks yesterday. It was yeah, not good. Well, when I was in the garage I had really good matchmaking. Yesterday I had bloody awful matchmaking and a combination of, and I don't say this very often, idiot teams. There were a few of those yesterday, lemming trains, and just, I don't know, you know when you just a couple of minutes into the match and half your team is dead and it's like, what has happened? And the Panther, well, the Crafts Panther or the Panther, very good penetration on the gun, but very low damage, and not particularly well armoured. So when you bottom tier, sometimes it can be quite hard to carry a match when it's sort of that sort of stage when half your team are dead. But anyway, that's why that didn't go up yesterday. So I do apologise. I'm going to work on it and try and get it up later today. And also the winners of the competition will be going up this evening as well. So you'll be able to find out who's won that as well. So yeah, sorry it's taken a while, but there's been a lot of comments to go through. But anyway, I'm going to try and skip over the ones. In fact, let me just get rid of those ops for now. Clear up a bit of space. So I'm going to try and skip over the ones that have been in here for a while and try and remember which ones weren't in here last time I did it. So maybe give a little description of some of the other tanks as we go through. But anyway, so obviously I've got all the combat cars apart from the standard one, and that was, well, it was a while ago, last year I think, or maybe near Christmas, they did a bundle. And it was, you got a few boost ops and stuff, basically, for this bundle. And that was essentially it. You bought it for the boost ops and got all 5 of these thrown in for free. Which is a bit redundant because they are all exactly the same tank. They just look different. So, as you can see, barely gone in them. A lot of my premium tanks don't have crews because I either use them as crew trainers or I just share a crew. You know, I'll just stick one of my good crews in out the tech tree tank because obviously most of you all know this, but the odd new player may not. You can move a crew from a tech tree tank into a premium at no cost or detriment, and then move them back into the original tech tree tank again at no cost and no detriment. So there you go. But Locust, which has been there for a while, Blitzen, which obviously everybody got free. I've got my Chaffee back, and I've actually put Buck Peters in there from the War Stories. I really do like the Chaffee. It's one of the most fun light tanks in the game, in my opinion. It's just a great little all-rounder down at tier 5 for a light tank, and sometimes you can get some cracking matchmaking with it as well. But it is a great fun tank. I've also got back the T-37, which I've sold about 4 times because I hate the damn thing, but I am determined to get through to the Bulldog and the T-49, so yeah, that's there. The Lycan, which, again, no equipment on it. I mean, obviously the game hasn't been out as long as it has on the Xbox, and sometimes I'm a bit too keen to get new tanks, so I'll end up selling a bit of equipment off a tank that I know I'm not going to be using for a while, or don't go in particularly often, and then I'll just slowly put equipment back on it. But the Lycan, I'm afraid to say, is one of those. Not that it's the T-71's a bad tank, it's just not one that I go in very often at all. The M41B Brazilian Bulldog as well. Again, I did have equipment on that, but again, it had to go, I'm afraid. Not my favourite tank. I've not tried the proper Bulldog yet, but I've got a feeling that's probably going to be a bit more enjoyable. The Ripper, which we've seen, again, same sort of deal with that with the equipment. And again, I can get away without equipment on that sometimes if I do want to go in it. My M4, which is still sat there, still with a crap crew. It did have a decent one, and I think it's been swapped out into something better now, and that's just one that I go in for a bit of fun every now and again. And again, had to sell the equipment recently. Story of my life, I think, with these tanks. The Ram 2, I've got the Fury. Still, again, not really been in it much. Not that I don't like it. The Easy 8 is a nice tank, but it's one of those that I can do without going in for the moment because I'm sort of trying to get through to the tier 10s basically in all the various different lines. T233. One that I use for a crew trainer, and not everybody's cup of tea. Not mine originally, I must admit. When I first got this tank and reviewed it, I wasn't overly keen on it, but the DPM on it is fantastic, and although its acceleration can be a bit lacking, it can get up to speed, and it's got great terrain resistances. Freedom, well, I think the Super Pershing was one of my first premiums, but I got rid of it when I got the bundle last year with these in again, mostly to review actually, but I still go in it every now and again. The reason it's not got much XP on it is because when I first got it last year I'd use it and sort of convert a little bit, again, impatient. But I've grown my patience somewhat. T95E2, again, I got it for the review, not a big fan of it myself personally. I know a lot of people like it. Still got my Pershing, a bit of a stall on that at the moment, got it fully upgraded, but I've been working on other tanks. As you probably know, I go in sort of fits and bursts, and I'll be in German tanks for a while, then I'll be in Russian or whatever, or I'll just pick a particular tank to try and get through. Recently though, because of the update that's coming, I've been focusing on something else which we'll get to shortly, the Vengeance, which is the same as the T25 Pilot, by the way, the one that's, I think it's still in the store, but obviously this gets the nice funky paint job with the American Eagle shield on the front and the nice grinning skull on the back. Nice looking tank. Shell velocity I think is a bit lacking on the shells on that, but otherwise it's not a bad tank. Good gun mantle as well. T54E1, again, bit of a stall at the moment because I've been grinding through all this stuff. Some of these I just sort of do my daily double in if I get a chance. T14, I think I reviewed that, I can't remember now. My T29, got the 2 marks on it, getting very very close to 3 marking it. Still not quite got around to it though. See, the problem is when the competitions are running and a lot of people play like idiots because they seem to think that by playing that way they'll get more points, it can be a bit of a, it can be very detrimental towards things like damage standing and stuff like that, because people just do silly things and then you end up on your own against loads of tanks and yeah, crap just goes really bad. So I'm going to get back to trying to 3 mark that, and I might even try and document, or sort of document, yeah, sounds a bit pretentious doesn't it? I might try and do a few videos sort of towards that 3 mark on that one. Excuse me, my throat was going a bit then. Let's have a look. What else? The Mutant 6, again, not been out in that for a while. I don't know why. I do love the tank. Just I think I was in it that often, training crews up in it and what have you, and earning money, that I just needed to take a bit of a break from it. And I did think about taking it out yesterday actually, but never got around to it. But I think we'll be seeing a bit more of that probably soon. But I think that's what it was. I was just in it far too much. T34 Black. And yeah, I know there's a lot of controversy about these. They have great crew training on them, these. Very good crew bonus. And actually I bought the T34, the standard one. It was in a sale before some of you may remember, before the black tanks came out. A few of the ones that were actually turned into black tanks were on sale in the couple of weeks leading up to the black tank release. So I bought the T34, it's one I was wanting. These came out, and it upset a lot of people. So Wargaming basically did a thing that if you bought one of these tanks in the sale that they'd run, you could then basically raise a ticket, pay the extra and get it swapped over, which was a good thing that they did actually, because yeah, they really should have announced it first, because again, like everybody said, if I'd have known, I'd have waited. M103, slowly going through it, not fully upgraded yet. I think I've got, no, not even got the top turret. Although there's not much of the armour profile, that's whether that'll change, I really don't know, but yeah, just sort of grinding my way through it at the moment. Again, just basically doing the daily double. Scorpion, not the Scorpion G, the little American TD Scorpion. Love this tank. It's got no armour whatsoever, but it's got a fantastic gun, great gun depression, and when you come up over ridge lines, you're basically just showing your gun shield. Although the cheeky gits at Wargaming, at some point, I don't know when, that hole in the gun shield used to actually be a hole, whereas now, if you check, it is not a hole, it is solid. So yeah, bit of a stealth nerf there. But when this first came out, that was actually a hole through the gun shield, and I did once or twice have a shell pass through that. So yeah, not happy at Wargaming. The T28 HTC. Did sell a couple of bits of equipment off this, mainly the camo net and the binoculars. And that was to pay for the new tier 10 that I purchased the other day, which I don't know if... no, I've not mentioned that to anybody actually, so only my wife knows I've got that tier 10 now. But yeah, not a bad tank. To take these down, because they are very tough from the front, the side boobs, as people call them, the turrets on the side, the mini turrets there, they're basically your weak spot. So if you are using one of these, the angle on the gun, the amount you can move it left to right is massive. so you can actually get up against the corner of a building, use the full sort of angle and hide one of the side boobs with your turret and the other side boob with buildings or cover, or just stay at a distance so it makes them hard to hit. T25AT, again, hit a bit of a stall with that, but I am determined to get out of that quite soon. But like a lot of my other grinds over the last week, they have stalled because of the update that's coming with the new German heavies. You and me, my throat's a bit funny this morning. T30, one of my favourite tanks in the game, along with the T29, and it is a TD, but I do use it more like a heavy. I just think it's better. I just think, you know, you can use it like a heavy. But something I would like, and I might mention this to Wargaming, is the ability to maybe have a choice of the 120mm gun and the 155 as a top gun, because obviously you can put that on, but you lose the tracks and the engine. Because let's face it, I mean, the pen and everything on this, 276, 750, fantastic pen, fantastic damage, 2.86 rate of fire. So not a very good rate of fire. But the 120mm, 6.19 rounds a minute, good rate of fire, 248 pen, still good pen, and 297 with your premium. So again, you know, you can make it work in tier 10. I have indeed. And still 400 damage. So I think that would be a nice option as a top tier gun on it, because that would kind of make it, I don't know, you could almost use it more like heavy because you've got your better rate of fire there. But I think that's something that I might mention to Wargaming, because I would like to see that 120mm as an option as a top gun on the T30. Sexton 1, US Sexton 1, let me clear up, fantastic, just overpowered little TD at tier 3. The British Sexton 1 is nowhere near that though. T18 HMC, why not? It's fun. In certain situations, if you're top tier on a city map, you can have so much fun in this. I've got my tier 8 American RT now. A lot of that thanks to my wife, actually. She did a lot of grinding out of the tier 7 one for me. Snakebite, lovely little tank. Still got my Matilda. I've still not brought myself to sell it yet. Still not got a crew in it. Still not got any equipment on it. But I don't know. Still not brought myself to sell it. Vanquisher AC, whichever one that one is. 1. Yeah, AC 1. Sentinel version, which I earned or won in that competition they did for that one. The Knight, which I've had for a while, came with the Freedom and the Liberté. The Boilermaker, again, had it for a while. Don't take it out particularly often. One of the rollout comic book tanks, isn't it? This is going to take longer than I thought. Sentinel AC4, kind of like the Firefly, but a bit more armour to it, and actually has gun depression as well, which is nice. The Centennial, and I remember this one actually because this was a risk I took with my channel last year. Obviously it was coming out, I knew it was coming out, and I basically, before that point, I didn't really feel as though I knew, I don't know, my confidence basically in my ability to review the tanks wasn't great at that point. I didn't feel as though I sort of knew enough about it, but I thought, do you know what, I'm going to take a risk, do my research, I'm going to buy this tank and I'm going to review it and see what happens. And I'm so glad I did, because it kind of gave my channel a bit of a boost, and that's when it all really started picking up subscriber wise and views and everything else. So very glad that I took the risk with that one and bought it and reviewed it, and it paid off. So yeah, very happy. Still, again, don't take it out overly often, but again, I sort of got, you know, a few preferred premiums for earning money, that sort of thing. Centurion 7.1, fully upgraded, just working towards the tier 10. The Excelsior, Tog, still there. Again, still don't take it out very often, but when I do, it's, you know, I tend to platoon in it with my wife. British Bulldog, fantastic little tier 6 British heavy. My Conqueror, still got my Conqueror sat in my garage. The crew is in the British Bulldog at the moment, actually. Got my Chieftain, as you can see, not got loads of XP on some of these tier 10s, not being in them overly often, because although I do go in them occasionally, I'll go in them more when I've got more of the tier 10s unlocked, because I'm just trying to grind through the other lines, if you see what I mean. But it is good for a bit of fun at the minute. The FV215B, that's actually the Boilermaker crew in there. Charioteer, working through that British TD line. Not got it fully upgraded yet, and excuse me, I'm going to have to clear my throat again, but I'll try and edit that one out. The 215B183, the first tier 10 I got, and my wife again did a lot of the grind down that AT line. She really enjoyed the British AT tanks, so before she started playing on her own account, she'd go onto mine and play in the ATs a lot, because like I say, she really enjoyed the line. But I actually sold that and rebought it a few months back. Panzer 38H, I was very fortunate to have that gifted to me, so thank you very much. Again, great little tier 2 tank. If you don't mind playing down at tier 2, not everybody does. It's just a bit of a stress relief every now and again, and it's known as the Micro Mouse. It is a very tough little tier 2 tank indeed. Panzer 2D, not a bad, fun little tier 2 light. Again, I think I bought that to review, possibly. Panzer 2 JPS. If you've got PlayStation Plus, I think you can still claim one of these free from the PlayStation Store. Obviously, you don't need PlayStation Plus to play World of Tanks on the PlayStation. That is one of the benefits that PlayStation has over Xbox. On Xbox, you do unfortunately need Xbox Live Gold to play it. But yeah, so you can, like I say, if you've got PS Plus, you can claim one of those from the PlayStation Store. And in fact, if you've on Xbox, if you let your gold run out, let your Xbox Live Gold run out, load up World of Tanks, and when you press start from here in the menu, I'll do it now, there you go, you should have something about try Xbox Gold with us, or something about Xbox Gold in there. And if you do it through World of Tanks, and again I'm assuming you still do this, this is for Xbox, so you basically join Xbox Live Gold through World of Tanks, you get the Panzer 2J on the Xbox, but it's just a plain one. It doesn't have the funky skin on like this one does. The looks, because it's great. Bought it back recently and just potter about it every now and again, trying to get a crew done up. I just stuck the basic crew in. The Awful Panther, or the Aufkl Panther, or I have to give its full name, Aufklärungs Panzer Panther, which is the scout version of the Panther, gets a bit of a bad rep. I don't think it's too bad. Not being in it particularly often, but I don't think it's too bad actually. I quite enjoy it, but I've got to be in the mood for that one. Spar Panzer IC, one of my recent additions to the garage. Don't like it. I've not got it fully upgraded yet, but I just don't like it. I'll figure it out, but at the minute I'm not keen on it, and a bit reluctant to go in it as of yet. Panzer S35, had that for a while. Gross Tractor, again, had that for a while. If there's any of these that you want to know a little bit more about, or want to know what it is, pop a comment on the video and I'll try and answer you later on today. Panzer T25, not a fan of that at all. Bought it to review, really don't like it. The GUP, the first tank that I earned when I first started playing, last March or April I think it was. All you had to do was basically grind 20,000 XP in a Panzer 4H and you got the GUP for free. But back then it had really crappy, really bad bonuses on it, virtually non-existent in fact. Panzer 4 Hydro, again, some of these, the equipment I just had to get rid of. Not a bad tank, but I've spent that much time in that sort of type of tank in Panzer 4s and what have you. I've had to give it a break again. Even my Ram Panzer, I got rid of the equipment on, and not being in that for quite a while. Got a bit fed up with it, mainly because I got fed up with people just spamming premium as soon as they saw you. Panzer 4S, picked it up very cheap when it was on an offer, and planning to review it, but not really had much of a chance to go at it yet, so I will get around to that one at some point. Obviously Crafts Panther, I went in it a lot when I first bought it, sat idle in my garage and been taking it out a bit recently. Champion, not the one that you could win, but I did pick that one up with a 50% discount when they did that one. Panther 88, some of these, like I said, I'm skipping through. Panther 2, which I bought back and I don't think was in my garage last time I did the review, but I'm going to be swapping a lot of crews around. Obviously captured KV1, the Hammer still there. Still got my Tiger 1, kept it, I am keeping it, it's one that I'm not going to get rid of. I had to take the equipment off it because, again, needed other stuff. Thought I'm not going to be going in it for a while, but I don't want to get rid of it yet. Got my Tiger 131, and it's this crew that I share with the Tiger. Tiger 2, slowly grinding through that, but I've got to get a crew sorted for the E75 because I don't want to get rid of my Tiger 2 either. 4502B. Not with much experience on it, you might be wondering. Well, that's right. Finally got a Mark of Excellence on it. I do like this tank, I'm just not overly good in it. So it's taken me probably the longest apart from a Type 59 actually, to get my Mark of Excellence on it. We get 4502B, and the latest addition to my garage, the mouse. Yes, finally unlocked the mouse, managed to get it ground out, so when that update hits, I will have the new tier 8 and 9 unlocked, and I've just got to grind out for the new tier 10. Stug 4, don't like it. The hidden Stug, love it. Fantastic, far superior to the Stug 4. E25, well, it's a bit like Marmite, you either love it or hate it. I kind of do like it, don't go in it overly often again. Went in it the other day though and just remembered how much fun it is, and couldn't quite think why I don't go in it very often, to be honest. But again, trying to get through tech tree tanks. Ferdinand, got it fully upgraded now, trying to get through that one. Jagdtiger 88. Canonian Jagdpanzer, again, I do like that tank. Kind of like a bigger version of the E25. Rheinmetall Borsig, nearly got all the upgrades on it, although I probably will stick with the 128mm gun on that one. ELC, again, you had it for a while, not been in it very often, had to take the crew out and put it into something else and sorting it out. AMX Chaffee, I do like it. It's a very tricky tank to play because it does see up to tier 10, and again, I think the reason I've not been in it overly much is because I'm, you know, trying to get out of these other tanks. AMX 1390, fully upgraded, trying to get through that. Got about 600,000 XP to grind off it because there's 3 tanks that come off this now. CDC, sat there for a while. I can't think of the name. M51 Super Sherman. Do like this tank. In fact, I love that tank. The Liberté, again, sat in my garage for a while. I do like that tank. Plays more like a medium, but again, I've been favouring other premiums recently. AMX 5100. You see, there's probably not as many premiums being added to my garage since I've become a CC, because obviously I'm lucky enough to get the tanks on loan, so I don't have to buy them to review them. I just buy them if I enjoy them and I like them now. FCM 36 Pack 40, deadly little tier 3 TD. Yeah, this is taking longer than I thought actually. I thought this was going to be like a 12-minute video. Lefty, very inaccurate RT, very tough haul, but very, very soft upper structure, which is a bit of a pain in the arse. Tier 7 French RT, and you don't see me. I don't really show RT replays because they're boring. You know, no offense to anybody that plays RT, but they are boring. Unless everything goes wrong, and then they're not so much boring. Tetrarch, good fun little tier 2 tank again. T127, great crew trainer for the Soviets. Very, very tough tank. Affectionately known as the baby IS-6 because you get a bit of an angle on it and it can troll people with its tough armour. BTSV, one of the prizes in the competition. Again, great little fun tier 3 tank. Razanite, everybody got one of those for free, didn't they? T50-2, got that back recently on a ticket, basically an exception. If you sell a premium tank, or you feel they made a mistake, you can go to Wargaming Customer Services on the console website, console.worldoftanks.com. Go to Customer Services and you can actually raise a ticket through, I think it's under in-game goods, and it's called an exception, and as long as you've got the silver and a garage slot, well, the silver that you got for selling the tank in your garage, just bang my microphone, and a garage slot, you can actually claim, or you can ask for these to be returned to you, and they'll just take the silver away, and obviously it takes a garage slot, so that's something that's quite useful. A32, the Honor T28E, I earned mine, as a lot of you have done. I've seen them on the battlefield. The Matilda 4, FGT34. I do enjoy this tank actually. I do see the benefits of the 57mm, to be honest, as well, but I do kind of enjoy this tank alongside it. A regular T34, which I should have sold by now. Actually, I bought that to compare it to the Fighting Girlfriend and forgot to get rid of it. T3488. Again, another prize. Rudy. Still got my Motherland. Still got my T34. I've kept that one. I've got my T54, which some of you have seen in replays as well, I think. Churchill 3 still sat in there. We're getting towards the end. Bogatyr. Great tank. Very tough. Although, with the amount of them they gave away, it kind of did ruin Tier 5 for a while. KV2. Never getting rid of that. Love it. The IS-2, the Russian one. KV4, sort of grinding my way slowly out of that, doing my daily doubles in it. Obviously the Gorinich KV5, or the Groinich. The Fatherland, Still got that in there. Not a bad tank, but you know, it's kind of just an IS-3, and I played the IS-3 a lot. Still got my T10, still not got the Top Gun on it. Not a fan of the T10 personally. SU-76I, great little TD. SU-85I, not so great TD. SU-100Y, box tank, the mighty box tank, very, very big gun for a tier 6, very big, packs a hell of a punch, but it's a very big tank, easy to see and hit. SU-122-44, I think my oldest premium, apart from the GUP. And again, I think that one was a case, you know, I did have a lot more XP on that one, and sort of ended up converting it ages ago, last year sometime, which I don't do anymore. And again, just played it so much because it was my only one for a while, that I just got a bit fed up with it. ISU-122S, I don't particularly like this tank. I know a lot of people do, but I think that the SU-122-44 is better personally. Other people will disagree with me and prefer the 122S, but I think that the 122-44 basically does everything that does, but better, apart from it's got slightly lower DPM. SU-152, getting up towards the mighty troll cannon, the ISU-152. The SU-100M1, got it full upgraded. Again, slowly going to work my way through that one, try and do the daily double in it, but I must admit not every day. Type 64, Chinese light tank. WZ-132, again, Chinese light tank, one that I don't really want to get rid of. Don't go in it very often, but I do enjoy it when I do go in it. Type 59, what can I say? It's Type 59. T-34-3 black. I've got the Legion as well. Again, not everybody's favourite tank, but not bad. Very, very good gun handling. Very good dispersion values, sorry. WZ-120. Kind of like the Type 54, but with a much bigger gun. The 112. The less said about that, the better. The WZ-11114, fully upgraded, going towards the tier 10, but I don't know, I've heard that the tier 10 is probably not as good as this one, so that's why I'm sort of taking my time a little bit. Chinook-I, STA-2 black, Edelweiss, again, I really need to get in these more and get the crews done up. Type 61, I've had the STA-1 in my garage for so long, and I was so glad to get out of that and get into this, but again, it's a very horrible grind through it. Still got the Kaiju, again, another one of the monster tanks. Heavy tank number 6. The Oni, which I have kept for now because I platoon up in it with my wife and her Oni. Nameless. The Oho, which I've not been in yet because the crew is in my Oni. And we'll go in it, well, basically help my wife get out of her Oni, and then I'll swap over to the Oho. But that drained my money recently. Ziska, T40, Skoda T40. Good gun. That's it. And the T34-100, which I got recently as well, but again, not fully upgraded. In fact, I think I've only got the first upgrade on it, and I think that's your lot. So yeah, that's it. Some of you may have been surprised to see Arty in my garage, but I do enjoy playing Arty every now and again. It's a bit of a change of pace, and I also find that by playing Arty, it's a good way of learning how to avoid Arty as well, because you kind of learn where the blind spots are likely to be on maps and where Arty are likely to go and sit. So even if you just play the odd low tier Arty, it's worth doing, because like I say, personally, I think it does help figure them out and figure out sort of, you know, figure out their mindset and, like I say, where they might be aiming, where they might be running to, like I say, where the blind spots might be, and does help you avoid them a little bit. But there you go. A lot longer than I expected. A lot more tanks than I actually thought. In fact, how many have I got in here now? I'll just stick a filter on. Light tanks. 140 vehicles, so yeah, there is a lot of tanks in here to get through, but there you go. So we're back later on with the winners video. That'll be uploaded tonight. Tomorrow I am going to London, but if I can get the footage for the Crafts Panther review, I'll try and get that done and uploaded as tomorrow's video, the revisit on that one. But yeah, I'll be back later with the video, so keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully you might be one of the lucky winners. So until then, take care out there, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.